Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to share with you my 3 favorite foot stretches I do every day for better mobility. So if you're someone who's starting to take a closer look at your feet and you want to improve their capabilities, these will be some good stretches to try out. Let's get right into it. So the first stretch I'm going to show you is called the toe press. Now there are multiple variations and ways to do this, but I'm gonna start off with the simplest one, which would be in a seated position. Basically, all you want to do is point your toes and press them into the ground, just like that. And this stretch really opens up the top of the foot. It helps better your toe points, which if you're into like calisthenics or gymnastics, that is something essential, being able to point your toes. And it just gives you more mobility in the foot. Now, while you're doing it seated, you could just do it straight forward, like at a 90-degree angle, put your foot down and press your toes in. Or you can move your foot a little bit behind, get a little bit of a deeper stretch. Just be mindful that if you're new to doing this, you can and you most likely will get cramps in your foot, especially if you're not used to stretching them or using them at all. So this is definitely a new stimulus that your foot is going to feel, especially at the top of the feet. So just be aware that you may get a cramp, especially if you've never done something like this before. So this is the seated variation of the toe press. Now we can also do the toe press stretch from a standing position, which is not that much harder than the seated position, but it just requires a bit more balance so that you're not falling over to any side. And just like the seated variation, we're just pointing our toes and pressing them into the ground. You can adjust the amount of pressure you want. It's pretty much the same principles. And this is really gonna help you get that toe point and just open up that top of the foot. Now for the last 2 variations of the toe press, they are a bit more advanced. So I say before you move on to these next 2 variations that I'm going to show you right now, you really get used to the stimulus and the feeling of pointing your toes and pressing them into the ground, because it's so easy to get cramps with these stretches. And I want you to not suffer as much while you're doing these. So for the next one, this is the kneeling position for the toe press stretch. And you pretty much want to start off, like I said, in a kneeling position. Make sure your feet, the top of your feet, are flat against the floor. Put your hands out in front of you. You can use your fingertips or just have your whole hands on the floor. I like to press with my fingertips because it gives me a little bit more leverage. So you're going to want to press up, but you want to press up onto your toes as they're pointed into the ground. So it should look something like this. And this one targets both feet at the same time. You're just pressing them into the ground and then release. Like right there, I almost got a cramp. So you got to be careful with how long you're doing it, because it's so easy to get cramps with these stretches, especially the toe press stretch. So once again, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm kneeling. Then I'm going to want to press myself up while pointing the toes into the ground. You hold that there for however long you find comfortable. Move around in the position a bit. And then lower yourself back down. And that is the kneeling variation of the toe press stretch. And for the last variation of the toe press stretch, and also arguably the most difficult variation, is something I call the toe press squat. So to do this one, it's going to be the same thing as if you're doing the standing variation of the toe press. But as you press your toes into the ground, you want to squat down and put all your weight onto that foot as you're pressing the toes into the ground. And this one has the most pressure, and you're putting almost all your body weight onto your foot. So then press yourself up when you're done. I'm going to do the other side. But this one is the most advanced variation and has the most stimulus. So very easy to cramp your foot. So once again, build your way up to it. So same thing. It's like we're starting doing the standing variation, But instead of just standing here, we're gonna squat all the way down. Keep those toes pressed. Hold for as long as you can, as long as you want. Then go back up. And then the whole time as I'm lowering down, as I'm raising up, my toes are pointed and pressed into the ground. At no point should your feet be moving or you should unpress your toes. No, your toes need to be pressed the whole time during the lowering, the holding, and the lifting. And that's how you get the most out of that exercise. So that is your toe press stretch and all the different variations you can do depending on your level. And for our next stretch, we have the elevated Achilles tendon / calf stretch. All you're going to need is an elevated surface. You can also do this on some stairs or outside on a street curb. Very easy to do. All you want to do is put your feet on the elevated surface. Make sure your toes and the ball of your feet are making contact with the surface. And the rest of your foot, starting about halfway to the rest of your heel, is hanging off of the surface. And all you want to do for this stretch is press one foot into the elevated surface and then the other foot will rise up. And then you switch. So I'm gonna press my right foot into the surface. That's gonna go down. And then my left foot is gonna go up. And that's how you feel the stretch. And you can do this alternating like how I'm doing right now. Just switch it up. You can do this at the same time. So you can stretch both feet at the same time by pressing both of them into the elevated surface. Or you can do this just one foot at a time and really just hold that stretch for as long as you want. This is also a very great calf stretch, which is why it's one of my favorite stretches to do as a warm-up before working out. And this is great for improving your ankle mobility as well, which can help improve your squat depth and form. It really helps teach you how to keep those knees over the toes and improves your ankle mobility enough to even do so. So that is your elevated Achilles tendon / calf stretch. Lastly, we have the alternating wall toe stretch. And for this one, you're going to want to find the edge of a wall, or in this case, a door frame. And we are going to start off by pressing our right big toe into the wall while the rest of our toes are pressed into the ground. Now there's multiple ways you can do this stretch. You can just hold it right here at the starting position, and you're gonna get a stretch. You can hold it at the end range for an even deeper stretch, or you can do what I like to do, which is pulses, so you get the best of both worlds. You just rock back and forth for as long as you want. And this is one of my favorite ways to increase toe flexibility. Then once you had enough of that, you want to stretch the rest of your other toes. You don't only want to stretch your big toe, we want to get all our toes covered. So we're going to move on to this side of the door frame. Press the rest of our toes into the wall, door frame, while our big toe is pressed into the ground. And once again, we can hold it at the starting position for a lighter passive stretch, hold it at the end range for a deeper stretch, or do some pulses, which is what I like to do. Do some pulses like that. Really get a good stretch in all those toes. Now, one other way we can spice this up is by adding isometrics. So we're gonna move on to my left foot now. Press my left foot's big toe into the wall while the rest of my other toes are pressed into the ground. And for isometrics, I wanna consciously focus on pressing my big toe into the wall and just holding it there. Just forcefully pressing my big toe into the wall, activating it, pressing for as long as I can. Really thinking about just pushing it through. And then once you've had enough, you can just release and chill out here. And the isometrics really add even further toe strengthening and activation gains. So not only are you becoming more flexible, your toes are getting stronger as well. And if I want to do the isometrics for the rest of my other toes, same principle. Other toes are pressed against the wall while my big toe is pressed into the ground. And really consciously thinking about pressing those other toes into the wall. Like you kind of want to like force yourself to push your toes down, but the wall is blocking it. So that effort is what really helps the isometric give you that strength. Just keep pressing as hard as I can, activating those toes, and then I'm gonna release. And I could just chill here, do some more pulses, really getting that deep stretch in all my toes. And this stretch is essential because it carries over to toe activation during daily movement, which is essential because you need to be able to activate those toes so they can keep you stable and controlled during every exercise and movement that you engage in. So it's very important that you do the stretch. And that is what I call the alternating wall toe stretch. So those are my 3 favorite foot stretches I do every single day. Let me know how it goes for you in the comments below. And as always, thank you for your time.